All right, guys. So we gotta get into this rant by Anna Kasparian from the TYT, and basically her attempt to be red pill. She is being red pilled. She just doesn't know it yet, and it's freaking hilarious to watch how uh her push for being a leftist is actually causing her mental breakdown. But she's going to talk about the new and improved DEI and how it works and how it benefits the liberal left and how they are eating themselves alive because DEI does not work. In fact, it is a poison for the society. So let's, without further ado, let's hear her out a little bit and let's see what she has to say.
The New Yorker looked into the fierce culture wars that have been playing out at Amherst Regional Middle School in Massachusetts. And man, has it been a nightmare. So it's tearing teachers, administrators, students, and parents apart. And it really has to do with identitarianism and which group in the hierarchy should be cared for the most. And of course, that leads to conflict. So here's a little background about the school itself. Just over 12% of the city's residents are Black or Hispanic. About 70% are white and roughly 13% are Asian. So those are the demographics in that area, in that school district. But the public school district is more racially diverse than the wider community. About a quarter of students are Black or Hispanic, in part because of the number of white and Asian families that opt for private or charter schools.
So let's wait here. This is something that I need to cover. So the liberals don't want to be in the public school sector. Most of the liberal Amherst is very liberal. Okay, Amherst, Massachusetts is very very liberal. It's very left leaning. So the white privileged individuals don't want to be in the public school. So what they do is they mostly put their kids in charter schools. So the public schools left to the minorities, the Hispanics and the blacks, and you know because they want their kids to thrive, and they don't want the public school to have all the necessities and all the good teachers and all that stuff, because what they do is they poison the public schools with DAI bullshit, right? That's all they do. They poison these public schools with DEI, LGBTQ crap, the rainbow, the equity, and all these garbage poison stuff, because charter school is very academic focused. All they do is academics, the important things, and math, science, literature, all that stuff. When it comes down to public schools, those are secondary. Primary is DEI and LGBTQ. So let's listen more.
So the white and Asian students are going to private or charter schools. They're focusing on academics. Then you look at this public school and they're riddled with culture war nonsense. Okay. And because of that culture war nonsense, you have various groups basically at war with one another because their interests are in conflict with one another. So, and I should note that this is a very liberal area of the country. And so go ahead, Jake.
There's identity politics that is played on the left. And this story is a really interesting intersection where those identity politics clash.
Yes.
And then people don't know what to do because they're making decisions not based on logic or facts, but based on identity. And that's what gets to the absurdity of sometimes the extreme left and what it has resulted in. Unfortunately, this is an excellent example of it.
So around 2014, a gentleman by the name of Michael Morris became assistant superintendent, and he decided to introduce a new administrative role at this school, okay? The assistant superintendent of diversity, equity, and human resources. So in 20...
Guys, anytime you hear the word equity, diversity, take a step back, rewind, and think why, okay? I had this discussion with a friend of mine on Sunday that we should consider ourselves as immigrants very, very blessed, because when we came to this country, we didn't speak a word of English. We had zero opportunities presented to us to take advantage of, to sit on the couch for years and collect Social Security or be included in anything. No, that's not what we did. We had a different mentality. We came to this country to thrive. So we came to this country hungry. We hustle. We look for opportunities. We learn things. We learn tradecraft. We learn the language. We learn the laws, because we need to obey the law. We have to obey the law because that's how we are. We want to be lawful citizens of this country, and we want our kids to follow in our footsteps. But most important part is we learn how this country functions, right? We don't get ourselves twisted and poisoned with being a victim constantly, right? This is what DEI does. DEI constantly pictures you as the victim, right? It teaches you victimhood mentality. What these liberals do is they put their kids in these charter schools because charter schools are free of this bullshit. They don't have that DEI crap going on. They don't have victimhood going on. You need to study. You need to get good grades so you could get into good college, so you can get a good degree, so you could start a good career and be ahead of everybody else. But public schools are being poisoned with DEI because public schools are where they can create new voters. They can create new activists. They could create new victims. All right? That's what they do. They create new victims in school right now. They don't teach anything else but victimhood. So let's continue.
2017, he ends up hiring a woman by the name of Doreen Cunningham, who is Black, for the role. Under Cunningham, Amherst instituted a two-step hiring process that was actually meant to increase diversity among workers at this middle school. Okay, that was the whole point. It was like a double-blind hiring process. One committee would choose candidates and another asked the applicants a uniform set of questions. Resumes were not reviewed ahead of time as part of this hiring process. And the two committees did not communicate with one another about the applicants that they were reviewing and considering for positions within the school. Now, to Cunningham's credit, this did in fact increase diversity within the school. So Cunningham said that she trained everyone. Anyone who was going to be part of the committees was trained to look at their bias. Multiple district employees told me that Cunningham often screened the candidates herself, though, and made final decisions, even overruling principals at times. She denied this, saying, quote, "I'm not the one who hired anyone."
So the DEI agent, the DEI agent selected the individuals herself, even though they were screened. So she chose them. And I guarantee you, I'm willing to put money on it. She put her friends in there. I will put money on it that she brought in her friends. There's no way in hell that she would not hire her friends. Because if she hires her friend, more money in her pocket, right?
No, the rest of the article seems to indicate she was the one that hired anyone. So you have your first absurdity here where she says, I'm going to train all of you guys because I don't want you to have any bias. We want these hiring decisions to be perfect. They go through the whole training episode and then she's like, yeah, ignore that. I'm just hiring them. Go, you. I like you guys. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's...
Come on.
Now, by 2023, the percentage of minority staffers at Amherst District went from 20% to 34%. So there was an increase in diversity. It's just that it appears that she hired some of her friends.
Of course.
And her friends had certain culture war biases that conflicted with certain identities represented within the student body.
Yeah, look, it's one thing if you're going to do DEI, and we've got our issues with the way some of that is implemented. It's another thing when you say you're going to do DEI and then you just hire your friends, okay? And then that makes everyone hate DEI 10,000 times more, Okay, so there's a layers of problems in this story. Go ahead.
Also, I should note that many of
So there you go. There you go. And I told you guys, I don't watch these things. I don't read the articles before I bring them on, to talk about them. I want the element of surprise so I could be proven wrong. So there you go. She hired her friends, and the DEI agent is basically, she went under scrutiny because of what she's done. And um and yeah, let's hear a little bit more, guys. Let's hear a little bit more.
the new hires, who happen to be, a more diverse group of employees, were paraprofessionals. I've never heard that word before, but apparently they're low-paid hourly employees who provide support to credentialed, like, full-time faculty.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the DI thing for one more second too, Anna, because look, I think that a lot of people, including myself, to be honest, are starting to get the sense that, wait, is DEI actually to help minorities across the country? Because I'm in favor of that. Or is it to help elite African Americans and minorities get the jobs they want, right? And so again, that's.
So Jenkin just actually spoke the quiet part out loud, okay? He basically just said the quiet part out loud. DEI will only, and he doesn't say that it does. He's hinting to it. Is DEI for the poor or the unprivileged people to get ahead and get a better job or have a better lifestyle? Or is it meant for the privileged, hierarchied minorities, the blacks and the Hispanics? And I think it's the latter. I don't have to think about it. It is for them. It is for the elite individuals. Okay? And I'll give you a perfect example. Look at BLM. BLM is all about DEI, but who took all the money? Where is the $90 million? Well, the Marxist leaders took the money. The black community didn't get any. The LGBT, the trans people got about $200,000-$300,000, but that's about it. But he's onto something, guys. He's onto something. Let's listen more.
That's why this story is an interesting example, because she just uses DEI as an excuse to hire her black and Latino friends. I like the idea of blacks and Latinos being hired, but not because they're your friends and you use DEI as an excuse.
Exactly. I totally agree with you on that. Karita Mayfield, who leads the science department at ARMS, that's the middle school that we're talking about here, described the push for diversity as more performance than reality, saying, quote, "I'm a prop to support the numbers that Doreen is putting forth that I know are BS, because there's no distinction between faculty and paraprofessionals." Now, Cunningham has responded to the critique by arguing that people are racist and that they're afraid of black women in leadership roles. She was, by the way, placed on leave last May, and her employment was eventually terminated in October. She has filed a discrimination complaint and against the district after they let her go.
All right, so, and this is what happens to these DEI individuals. Basically, when you are being criticized, when you are being questioned, you're gonna play the race card. And as you heard, she played the race card, saying, oh, because they're afraid of women of color in position of power, and this is what they do. And that's the only game they got. They will not ever say that, yes, I made a mistake. It's all racism. Left, right, up and down, it's all racism. Racism did this to me, and racism did that to me. And all I do is try to be a good person, and I do the right thing. But racism killed me, or racism killed my career, and racist people, and racist this and racist that. The black guy punched the white lady going to church because of racism, because she was being racist walking into church. So racism all over the place. No accountability. And you would think that this kind of behavior coming from these kind of people doesn't help their community at all. In fact, it hurts them even more. And if you want the public school sector to be much better, I guarantee you take out all these damn liberals and these damn DEI crap out of the school system and just stick to the basics. Respect, literature, math, science, the essentials. And we will have a society that will thrive like nobody's business. Leave politics, leave identity out of schools. And I think that's the best thing we could do to ourselves as a society. By doing that, the division in the country goes away. But if you constantly pushing victimhood mentality into these school systems, if you're constantly pushing that, oh my God, LGBT, oh my God, trans, oh my God, DEI, oh my God, blacks, oh my God, Hispanics, Indians. But one thing people never talk about, Indians are very dark skinned in some part of India, and they live here, and they don't play victim. They don't play victimhood. What they play is, how the hell am I going to get ahead in this country? I don't give a damn what I look like. Our brains are the same color. So it doesn't matter what I look like. It depends on what I know knowledge wise, what skill sets do I have, and how can I use that skill set to get ahead. Most majority of successful people think that way. But once you put the mentality in these people's head that you are a victim because you are not successful, then the entire mentality changes and you play the race card and you play victim, and your entire life is just garbage and you will never get ahead. So this section is pretty long, guys. It's 24 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I think I played the most essential part of it, which was in the beginning of it. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Share the video if you like it. So but your comments and your like kind of help this channel a lot. Peace out.